What's up, everybody? So here we go for our next weekly challenge. So this time we're going to focus on stances, specifically horseback riding stance, front stance, and back stance. So for little dragons, since you guys don't learn front stance and back stance yet, you guys only have to do the horseback riding stance exercises. And then no belts to orange belts, since you guys don't really learn much about back stance yet. You only have to do the horseback riding stance and front stance. But green belts and up, so everybody else, all three, to get credit for your weekly challenge for the day. All right, so let's start with horseback riding stance. So we know, right, it's about twice as wide as chimbi stance. Right, bend your knees, back straight. Right, nothing like this. Not too low, but make sure to keep those knees bent. So I'll slide over to show you what we're going to do. So you're going to step across your body in front, not behind. In front, boom, step into a horseback riding stance. And other leg, going to step in front, boom, into a horseback riding stance. So the idea is you want to keep your head the same level. So when you step into it, you don't want to raise up. You don't want to up and then back down. You want to stay that same height the whole time. So you want to really got to focus on keeping those legs bent. So this will also be a good workout for your quad muscles right in here, because you got to keep those knees bent the entire time. And also this is going to focus on using your body weight to help you change directions with power. Not just changing directions, but changing directions with power and action. So as you step across, as soon as you get to the spot, boom, twist your hips into that spot. You want to twist at the last second. See, and boom, twist. And let's say, if you keep going and you're going to run into something, just go the opposite way as I've been doing. So that way, obviously you don't want to run into the wall. So step, boom, step, boom. And don't rush it. Don't rush, each one, make sure you got a good stance after each step. So that way we can, help improve our stances. So take your time, keep those knees bent. And then this one, you're gonna do 20 steps. So it's gonna be 1, 2, all the way up to 20 times. All right, so then again, little dragons, you're all finished. After you do 20 of those, that's it. You get your point for the weekly challenge for that day. Next is front stance. So first, to go through a front stance, if your feet were together, you want to make about 1 fist apart. Feet should be about 1 fist apart. And then one leg would go 1, 2, 3. Pivot your back foot a little bit, not a lot. And bend your front knee. So it should be, in terms of the length, should be about 3 to 3.5 foot lengths between your feet. And bend your front knee, keep your back straight, and make sure your back leg should also be straight. Bend your front knee so you can't see your toes, and then you've got yourself a good front stance. So here, what we're going to do, we're going to practice stepping forward with front stances. So you first make a good front stance, right? Make sure your back foot, right, not this way. It's got to be almost completely straight, like your front leg is. So when you step forward, just like horseback riding stance, you got to keep the same height of your head. You don't want to step forward and come up. Don't keep this knee bent, this front knee. So you step, boom. Then at the last second, you're going to straighten this leg. Keep it bent, then straight. And pivot that foot just a little bit. Not too much, just a little bit. Because very common mistake people make in forms is when they go to front stance, they over pivot the back foot, or they lift their heel off the ground. So this drill will allow you to practice keeping that heel down and not following through with the back foot. You just want to keep it stationary, but pivot just slightly. So again, keep that head same height. Step forward, boom. See, just a little pivot, step forward, boom. Now let's say, okay, you're coming up to an object, so you can't take any more steps forward. So now we're going to practice, this is where you would practice your turning around, going in the other direction. So you're going to take whatever leg's in the front, move it, push off the ground, move it straight back, keep both your knees bent, look over that shoulder, keep legs straight back, and then you have to also cross over your other leg. And I'll show you from another view in a second so you can see what I mean. And then when you get here, twist. And then try to get that front stance. So make sure to check your stance actually after each step to see if you're able to get to a good stance before you keep going. So again, don't rush it. And now I'll show you the turn again so you can see it from this view. So you're going to take your front leg back, bend both your knees, try to keep your head at the same height you were when you started the front stance. Look over the shoulder, turn, and then see, cross your leg over, boom, pivot into front stance. And you'll see if you don't cross it over, this is what's going to happen. You're going to come back, if you don't cross it over, and you just leave it straight. When you turn, you're going to be cross-legged, and you might fall over. And that's obviously not what you want with front stance. So that's why when you turn, you're going to cross that leg over. I'll show you with the other leg. You bring it back, look over that same shoulder. When you're back here, cross it over, twist. So then you'll have a good front stance going the opposite direction, and then you can just keep stepping forward. See, same height, step, and boom. At the last second, little pivot. Step, boom. And turn around, boom. Step. So you'll do that one. Each step will count as one. Do that 20 times. So the turning around step also counts as one. So 20 times total. And again, so no belts to orange belts. That's it for you. Just the horseback running stance, front stance. Green belts and up, also going to work on back stance because you start having back stance in your form starting at green belt. So to make a good back stance, if your feet are together, one foot, turn to the side, right, to make an L. Then the other foot, one step, two step, 2 to 2.5 steps is okay. Because then you want to make that L shape, make sure to push your body weight in the back. I'll show you from the side. L shape, so it should be smaller than a front stance, not the same size, a little bit smaller. And again, make sure your weight, right, not toward the front, on your back leg. Not too far. You want to bend both your knees from your hip, your back hip, to your foot. Foot should be a straight line. If you took like a meter stick, put it from your back hip to the foot, it should be a straight line. And so then what we're going to do with back stance is we're going to just practice turning and switching sides from this side to this side. So like here. So you're going to lift up your back leg, turn, and boom, pivot your hips. Twist your hips, so now you're facing the other direction. And so make sure with your back foot, I'll show you from this angle, you don't just want to leave it here and twist. You got to cross it over, just like with front stance, just not as much. Just a little crossover. So you lift, cross it over a little bit, twist. And then check, see if you're able to make that good back stance. And then now this is your back leg. So you're going to lift this leg up, turn your eyes this way, twist. Use your hips, use your body to turn into the back stance. That way you practice getting more power in your stances, which in a tournament, when you're doing a form, they see that snap going into your stances, that'll earn you extra points. So again, step, twist. Step, twist. And you should move in one direction or the other a little bit with each step. Step, twist. Step, twist. And then and just like the other two stances, your head height should remain the same. So when you're doing it, don't come up and then back down. Same height. So when you lift your back leg up, you gotta keep this other knee bent. So that way you can stay the same height. Twist. And that way, so you should feel it your legs, especially if you did the other two exercises correctly, you should be, this is a good leg workout too. So this way you can follow these drills, focus on your good back stances, right? Or all stances, whichever one you're working on. Because if you have good stances, your forms are going to be awesome. All right, so that's it for this weekly challenge. So remember, Little Dragons, just horseback riding stance. No belts to orange belts, horse stance and front stance. Green belts and up, all three. So let's get after it, and let's see some awesome stances this week. See you later.